Hey yeah, everybody, it's Smudge here, back again for our world tour in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today, a couple of hours I think this flight will take. We're taking off from Reykjavik in Iceland and we're flying west to Nuuk in Greenland. I was thinking about trying to get to St. John's, which is kind of, I think, like the easternmost city in the US or Canada. It belongs to one of those. It's right on the limit of the TBM's range. If you've got a tailwind, you can make it. If you've got a headwind, you can't. So I thought that would be safe. Fly to Nuuk and refuel there before we move on down to St. John's and then into New York and south through North America into South America. So without blathering anymore, I think we'll get into the game. We'll get the aircraft started up and take off. Hopefully we'll land before sunset in Nuuk. Okie dokie, right. So there's only about an hour or two hours left of light here in Iceland, but by the time that we get down to Greenland, there should be a lot more hours of daylight left. So hopefully we won't be landing in the dark as well. Make sure that's in cutoff. So first things first, as always, we'll turn on the nav lights, turn on our panel lights so we can see inside. Crash bar up, battery up, and generator on. Everything should start coming to life, all of our Garmin screens and stuff like that. I thought, okay, that make sure that our fuel is okay, which it certainly is. We're going to definitely need more fuel than on our last trip there. So that's all good. We'll contact ATC and get permissions to do what we need to do. To ground and request IFR clearance to Nuuk.
Ground Daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra IFR to Bravo Golf Hotel, ready to copy.
Daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra is cleared to Bravo Golf Hotel Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 13 climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.5, squawk 3075.
075. We'll acknowledge that.
Daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra, cleared to Bravo Golf Hotel Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 13 climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
Okay.
Departure on 125.5, squawk 3075.
Daughter 1 Mike Sierra, readback correct. Contact ground on 121.7. Good day.
2 seconds, my tracker is just spazzing out a little bit here. Just got a bit of backlight. 2 moments while I sort that out. Okay, that should be it. The sun's just literally kind of started to peek through my window and it bounces off the wall behind me, and then that's enough to cause my trachea to wig out. So just pull a curtain to there to sort that out. So we've got all our clearances. That's all cool and groovy. So we'll start up the aircraft now and then we'll be on our way. So that's that set. That's that set. Fuel on, fuel select into both, autopilot trims are on, and then we'll put our ignition on. Make sure that our throttle's in cutoff. So watch our N1. So it starts to climb. ITT is going up, so throttle into idle. Much nicer weather over Reykjavik than when we landed. Although I was looking at the weather app, we are due some rain in this area in the next hour or so. So hopefully we're out of here before that hits. Okay, so engine stabilized. We'll move that into high idle. we're just looking at our master caution there, so we've got pitot install heat that need to go on, which is those two down there. We need to turn our bleed valves on, which is here, so put that up too. Then that clears everything on there apart from the parking brake, which we'll have off in a second. So we'll turn on our taxi lights, we'll turn on a strobe before we get to the runway, crash bar, that's all set, they're all set, that's all okay. We've got our route programmed in there, we've got our source set to nav. I forgot to do that on the last takeoff, which caused a couple of problems. So we'll put that into navcom, we'll put that onto there. So runway 13 I believe is this runway just behind us here, so it should be a fairly easy taxi out. So we'll just go to here, back taxi up here, and then away we go. Cool. Right, so I believe that's everything there. We've got altitude programmed in, which is 13,000. So now let's request a taxi.
Reykjavik ground daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra, with Sierra ready to taxi IFR.
Daughter November 171 Mike Sierra taxi to and hold short of runway 13 via taxiway hotel 4 Echo. Contact tower on 118.0 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 13 using taxiway hotel 4 Echo daughter 1 Mike Sierra.
Okie dokie, so let's request, go to ground services, request push back to the left.
November 171 Mike Sierra, requesting pushback.
Yeah, let's go push back to the right. Because we're going off to the left anyway, aren't we, sir?
Reykjavik ground daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra, requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
Daughter November 171 Mike Sierra, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
Hello, Mr. Operator Man.
Reykjavik ground daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra, requesting the end of pushback.
Daughter November 171 Mike Sierra request to end pushback received.
So he should disconnect and bugger off, which he has done. Cool. Right. So that's the runway threshold just there, so we'll start powering up and we'll drive light threshold. Yep, so 13 is to well, to line up on 13 we need to turn to our right. So we'll line up on the line here and then request takeoff permission. There we go, so request takeoff.
Reykjavik tower daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra, ready for IFR departure, runway 13.
Tower November 171 Mike Sierra, altimeter 28.9er, 7 link 223 at
28.
Cleared for takeoff runway 13.
Cleared for takeoff runway 13 daughter, November
2897.
171 Mike Sierra.
Okay, so let's go out, back taxi a little bit, turn around, and then we'll take off straight out. So we'll put our landing flaps down. Put our strobe and landing lights on now. swing around here. Okay, so I've got our nav source into GPS. We'll select nav. We'll go FLC once we're airborne. Got that set to 13,000. Cool, so here we go. Brakes on. We'll power up. Flaps are set. And turn off the inertial separator now as well. And away we go. A little bit of a side wind here. Speed is going up. It's 90 knots, we'll pitch back. Positive rate, gear up. Need a good rate of climb to get over those trees. Get a better look at Reykjavik and
Contact Reykjavik Center on 125.5. Good day.
thank you very much.
Going to 125.5, daughter 1 Mike Sierra. Reykjavik Center, daughter, November 171 Mike Sierra is at 1,300 feet, climbing 13,000 feet.
Dollar November 171 Mike Sierra Reykjavik Center altimeter 28.97. Continue to Kilo Foxtrot Victor as planned.
Okay. So yeah, that's Reykjavik, getting much better look of it than when we came into Langs. It was awfully cloudy and foggy and everything down here. It's making a turn out here. What a cool little roundabout down there, with like spirals on it. Well, bye-bye Iceland, and here we come Greenland. So we'll be landing about, well, it says 7:30, well, 7:15 UTC as it stands at the moment, but as we get up to altitude and our speed goes up, that'll come down by about half an hour, so probably about 6:30. So that's quite a long time. It's only about 800 miles, so I think we might shave quite a bit of time off that. See, it's already come down to 6:50, so yeah, that's coming down as we're kind of speeding up quite quickly there. So awesome. Our top of climb, or kind of altitude that we'll be aiming for, is about 20,000 feet on the top. It's pretty cold out there. Just turn on our icing stuff. Alrighty. that way. That is looking really nice out there. Oh, and I also managed to turn off the instruments and external view, so that looks much better now when you're having a look at the aircraft externally. Alrighty, so making progress, climbing up, speed's looking okay. As we're climbing here, I'm just kind of increasing throttle as we're climbing just to make sure that I'm still hitting about 60 gallons per hour. So there's that weather cell I was on about before, which is coming down into Iceland. So yeah, the due rain, like I said, in about an hour or so. So that's coming down this way. Over Greenland at the moment it's cloudy, but shouldn't cause any problems, I hope. Hi, Sentry. Yeah, it is incredibly pretty. One thing Microsoft Flight Sim does incredibly well is weather and lighting and all that type of stuff. So we've got a really lovely sunset kind of going on here in Iceland, and we should be chasing the sun pretty much all the way to Greenland as well. Yeah, in Iceland the sun's due to set in about an hour and a half, 2 hours till it's complete sundown, but it's about 4 hours to sundown in Nuuk. So hopefully we'll still just be at this kind of, shall we say, twilight when we're landing in Nuuk in Greenland. Starting to get a little bit of turbulence here. Let's turn on our... Got a bit of a tailwind, which is okay. Just turn on our tailwind wind indicator on here as well, so it's there we go.
Climb and maintain flight level 200, 1 Mike Sierra.
Cool, so just been instructed to climb up to our kind of target altitude, which is 20,000 there. What was it? Oh yes, so we'll turn on our wind indicator, which is on our front panel here. Other PDF settings and wind, option 2. And I will also awesome, and now we're on our way. So we've got nothing to do but sit back and watch the world fly by, and occasionally kind of answer the hails by air traffic control over there. So we're going above 10,000 now, so we can turn off those. With our target altitude being 18,000 feet, well, above 18,000 feet, we'll increase our barometric pressure back to 29902. So went a bit too far. There we go. So then we'll be at the right altitude for what we're assigned to. Hey Sentry, he's just asked, are you using the same plane for all of your legs? Yes, I am, yeah. So I'm going to fly the TBM 930 kind of the whole way around the world. So yeah, the reason I chose the TBM is it's incredibly fast. I think it is the fastest single engine turboprop aircraft in use, or in Civvy Street at least. It's got a decent range at about, I think it's 1,200 nautical miles practically. So it can cover a lot of the legs that I need it to, but it's not too far like the A320 or a 747 where you can cover half the world in one flight. In this you need to think strategically about how far you can go, airports that you can land at, and also being general aviation and a smaller aircraft, you don't need a major runway to get it in, so you can get it in on kind of municipal airfields and smaller type of runways. So it kind of gives you that bit more flexibility. If I was to take something like a Cessna 172, it just doesn't have the range to get far, so you'd be really limited on some of the hops if you can actually do that journey or not. So yeah, I think this kind of gives you the best options all around to kind of fly around the world in a smaller aircraft. Hope that answers your question. It's also a very nice aircraft to fly, completely glass cockpit, system's really easy to use. Yeah, it's easy, it's comfortable, and it's fast. Okay, so does the aircraft aid you with fuel estimations and that type of thing, or is it all manual? It's pretty manual. So you get an ETA up here as to your destination or fly to point. Down here you've got your fuel burn rate, which I'm currently doing about 55 gallons per hour. So you take the total quantity of fuel, so you know, if you say that you got a 280, I know it's not that because it's 36 and 39, but I'm rounding up. So if you say if they were like 140, that's 280. Take your gallons per hour fuel burn, and then that gives you your flight time. So at the moment, if we do the math on this, so it's 139 and 136 gives us a total of 275. Divide that by 55, it gives us 5 hours of flight time, but you've also got to factor in kind of descent, holding, other kind of things like that. So I like to give myself an extra kind of half an hour or maybe an hour for safety, so say 4 hours of flight time with a safety margin. So at the moment our ETA there is about, say, 6 o'clock. We're coming up on 2:30 now, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 4 hours of flying, thereabouts. Well, 3.5 hours, and then a margin of error. But at the moment we have a really good tailwind, which hopefully stays with us. So that'll definitely help with you know, kind of our speed and getting there. Okay, so Sentry Dares just said again, I only fly DCS, so don't know much about Microsoft Flight Sim. Is the traffic you encounter all random, or do you tune it or turn it off? Are there other players getting about? So there is live traffic. So I don't think we actually see any on our screen at the moment here. I don't think there's any kind of traffic really around us. But you do get live traffic. So on the last flight I did, there was kind of 4 aircraft around me, and they were all real world aircraft that you could go on like Flight Radar or Plane Finder and have a look at, and they'd be there in real life, maybe just like slightly ahead of where you see them in game because of the lag of it being kind of programmed into the game and shown to you. But yeah, you do absolutely see a real life aircraft. Depending on the settings you use, you can also see other players flying around as well. I've got that set on at the moment, so we may encounter other players, we may encounter kind of real life AI traffic, kind of real world traffic flying around. But yeah, you get all sorts of stuff like that: AI traffic, player traffic, and real world traffic. It's all customizable in the options, but I just set it to kind of real world, so it kind of puts in real world aircraft for me, which is really quite cool. It's nice seeing a plane kind of coming towards you and then looking on Plane Finder and going, that's a 777 off to London or something like that, you know. So that is really quite cool. Yeah, that is indeed really cool. I hope that we can... In fact, let's have a look. So if we bring up the VFR map, expand this out a little bit, and then we zoom out. Yep, so there we go. So there's no planes around where I am at the moment because I'm taking a path that's kind of off the normal kind of airways, if you will. But all of these planes here that you can see, if you go on Plane Finder now, you'll be able to find a lot of these aircraft and see who they are, where they're going, what they're doing, all that type of stuff. So these are all real-world aircraft that you see here, kind of flying all over the world. And then you can also see my little flight path that I've got programmed in here, flying IFR route into Nuuk in Greenland. As we get to about, well, maybe here, we should get approach instructions, and I'll be programming those into the navigation system in order to get the correct approach into Nuuk. But yeah, it is really quite cool. Yeah. Yeah. So Century has just come back saying, have you had any surprises with aircraft popping up where you didn't expect them? Yes, is the easy answer to that. Absolutely. When I was at Nassau on my first time around, I had a live aircraft coming in to land or entering the pattern. I was following the instructions from the ATC and being a good boy, but then this thing kind of ended up flying kind of just above me, left to right, and yeah, didn't miss it by much. And if that was in real life, that definitely would have started causing alarms. But yeah, for the most part, the ATC is quite good at giving you clearance from other aircraft. Landing into Miami was interesting on the last flight I did. I got spun twice by the ATC. Spun is told to kind of go around or kind of leave the entry pattern and come back in at a different place, because there are obviously Miami's quite busy. There was a lot of aircraft kind of on the approach, and I'd kind of slotted in between two, but I didn't have enough kind of clearance in order to kind of like land safely and get off the runway, so it told me to go off to another holding point and then come back around again. The ATC is really quite good dynamically like that. It makes flights very interesting when you're told to make changes to what you're expecting. So yeah, it does kind of procedural flying stuff like that really incredibly well. Can humans take control of ATC and override the AI? No. There's no human ATC control by default, but there is a system called VATSIM, which is like a multiplayer environment that you can fly in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Then you have human control airspace and airports and everything like that. A good friend of mine, Dougie Motasua, streams on Twitch, and he's recently kind of signed on as a VATSIM air traffic controller. I think he did a live stream the other day where he was doing ground control at was it Liverpool, Leeds, something like that. But yeah, there is indeed ways that you can communicate with other humans in air traffic, but as default in the game, which is what I'm doing here, then it's all kind of AI controlled air traffic control. Definitely looks as though the sun is getting higher as we're progressing here, or at least it's definitely not coming down some. But when we took off in Iceland, it looked really low, and I guess with the kind of level of clouds and stuff, it looked like it was much closer to the horizon than what it is now. But looks like quite a nice day out. That weather cell is behind us now. I don't think there's any real weather ahead of us. All of the weather seems to be to our south. No turbulence at all, which is nice. The last flight that I did, flying from the Faroe Islands to Reykjavik in Iceland, we were getting battered all over the place. The aircraft was rocking and rolling. It was really nasty. So that this is much nicer, much nicer kind of place to be today. Just want to check something out here, in fact. Well, it looks like there's a couple of aircraft coming up behind us. BGGH. There we go. So let's see what that dude is. Go on to your favourite plane finder app. So looking over at where we are now. So there's... Okay, so we've got a... So the lower one, I believe, is a 777 Qatar Airlines going to Chicago, and the top one, this guy over here, looks like that'd be a United Airlines 787 going to Denver. So that's quite cool. I think I've got the positions right on them. There is actually a fair amount of traffic over here at the moment, but looking at plane finder, they're the two aircraft that should be about in that position, and that separation. So yeah, got some local traffic. The Qatar to the south, he's at 34,000, so he'll be above us, and Denver 787 is at 35,977 feet, so I guess 36,000. So again, when they pass us, they'll be well above us here at 20,000 on our kind of low altitude IFR route. Let's say Greenland. BGGH, that's right, okay. Just wanted to check something for when we're coming into landing. Frequencies. So there's ILS on runway 22, which is 110. So I'll activate that on nav 2, 110.3. So it looks like they've only got...
Traffic is 3 o'clock per mile at flight level 3 for 0 generic. Report them in sight.
So we've got a traffic alert. Oh no, sorry, that's United 26. So that'd be the guy behind us. Yeah, so that's air traffic control in-game telling the United Airlines aircraft behind me to look out for the Qatar aircraft, because they've got 4 mile separation. So, yay! I wonder if the guys in real life have been getting a similar ATC call to that. I wonder if we could see those guys behind us. How cool does that look? Looks so nice. There's a fair bit of cloud just above us here as well, so Guess they'd be up there somewhere. Yeah, I guess would be no factor for them. In fact, they're just actually coming ahead of us now. They've just overtaken us. Can we see them upstairs? Maybe a bit too much cloud to see them visually above us, but they'll be up there somewhere. Sometimes you can see that little red light kind of blinking, the strobe light. They really need to watch this windscreen. Oh, damn it, I can't see them up there. I think there's just a bit too much weather, but... Ah, there he is! Just under my mouse there, if you can see that. There's like a blinking white and red light just under my mouse pointer. So that'll be that's United, and then Qatar will be over here somewhere. Not seeing his light, but he's probably behind that cloud over there somewhere. I like that sentry, that's really good. So he's just said on chat there, my ATC missus says if they're getting that traffic call, they've already fucked up. Yeah. I guess they'd also get TCAS alerts if they're heading towards each other as well. The traffic avoidance system. But I mean, they're at separate altitudes. They're not heading towards each other directly, so I guess that's safe, but yeah. And 4 miles really in aviation terms is quite close. You think walking 4 miles, that's a fairly long way to go, but I suppose when you're doing like you know, kind of 400 or 500 miles an hour, you're going to cover that airspace pretty damn quickly. He's disappeared back behind the clouds now. Wonder if that cloud shows up on weather radar. I guess it's not heavy enough kind of rain or cloud in order to show up on weather radar. One thing would be nice is if it showed traffic when you zoom out beyond 50 miles. At 50 miles it shows local traffic, but when you zoom out 100, 150, 200 it doesn't show anything. Although it does look as though we've got some building weather ahead as well at about 150 miles ahead. Maybe a stacked cloud bank over there. Hopefully we'll be above the worst of it, but if we'll run into it, we can always try and climb up to 30,000, try and get above it. So ETA at the moment is 5 o'clock. We're getting a about 30 knot tailwind between 26 and say 27, 28. It's flipping about a bit there. We're doing 308 knot ground speed. You can see our ground speed just down here. So we've got an indicated airspeed of 206, true airspeed 280, ground speed steady at 308 knots. ETA 5 o'clock UTC. At the moment it's 3 o'clock UTC, so that's 2 more hours of flight, burning 55 gallons per hour. So that would be a total of 110 gallons, and we've currently got let's see, 240, 50, 5, 6, 7, 8, what, 258, if my maths is right off the top of my head there, kind of gallons, so we're pretty golden at the moment. Really nice having a tailwind. I said on one of my previous kind of live streams I did, the first time I did this crossing, there was a kind of large hurricane weather system over the North Atlantic, and I was fighting a 90 knot headwind pretty much the entire crossing, and I tried getting from Reykjavik to St. John's, but I couldn't make it. The headwind that was hitting me was just far too strong. Excuse me. Been a long day. Oops. Internal lights off. Just sweeping the cockpit to make sure everything is as it needs to be. Didn't turn on the property ice. That was naughty. Not getting any signs of icing at the moment. I guess we're a bit too high for the moistures and stuff, but I'd much rather have it on and not need it than need it and not have it on, because that would be very bad. Just grabbing a couple of pretty screenshots. You can definitely see that building weather over in the distance over there. Just make sure I've not missed any ATC calls. Yeah, that's all fine. Hey, thanks very much, Century, and thanks for saying hello and commenting, man. It really does help pass time when people actually come on and talk to you. But you have a great night, and yeah, I'll hopefully see you again soon. Hey. So making pretty decent progress here. I'm happy about that. A little bit of rain off to the right there. Crikey, okay. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit heavier, but let's see what altitudes that is. It's all well below us. Yeah, I think we'll miss most of that weather. We might get a little bit of choppiness as you're kind of heading in and out of weather cells. The wind can start getting a bit odd, and you start getting kicked about a little bit, but we should be okay. Like I said, if it gets a bit worse, we can always climb up a little bit more. So we've got a turn point coming up, which is Sosit, probably in about just over 50 miles. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, just inside 50 miles. Tailwind's starting to pick up a little bit there, kind of getting up to 30 now. Some really interesting cloud formations going on here. Thankfully we're not getting much chop from it, very little turbulence, which is nice. One thing I really wish is YouTube let you play any kind of music that you wanted without copyright striking and kicking your ass. Because it'd be so much more interesting, actually, kind of like, you know, listening to some cool tunes or albums or something like that as we're making the crossing here, rather than having to listen to me coming up with bollocks to talk about. You can only talk about the weather for so long, even though being British and it is kind of one of those things that we're obsessed with. There comes a time when talking about the weather just starts getting a bit irritating. It's interesting watching those clouds building. Get a little bit of turbulence coming off the back end of that weather cell, but like I said, sometimes that can certainly happen when you're coming around them as the weather direction starts shifting. Making our turn at Sosit. Wind speed's picking up as well. That's down to gust to 37. Ground speed's still pretty stable, 310 knots over the ground. That's a pretty serious weather front going on over there. I always find it quite funny watching this because I know that in about a week's time that's probably going to be hitting the UK on the east coast where I am. You could always kind of watch the weather coming across the Atlantic thinking, yeah, okay, we're due rain soon. It's really starting to shimmy and shake. Look at that cloud bank there, we might actually run into that.
Reykjavik Center, Docker 1 Mike Sierra. Request flight level 250.
Docker 1 Mike Sierra climb and maintain flight level 250.
Climb and maintain flight level 250, Docker 1 Mike Sierra.
Just try and see if we can get above that, because that's definitely coming up to us, that building weather. I might need to go up to 30,000, but I just want to see what it looks like with an extra 5,000 on top. See if we can get out of some of this turbulence as well. That's a building level here. Starting to steady out a little bit there. So I think we should be just about on top of the worst of it. We might run into some of that, although that looks pretty high. looks like we're starting to get corner of Greenland coming up on the map there. About another 100 miles to go to get over the east coast of Greenland, but then we're going to fly across that land on the west coast. And Greenland's a fairly sizable country. Excuse me. Looks like the worst of that weather's behind us. We're kind of leaving that cell behind, but still a little bit of turbulence, but that's calmed down a fair bit. Just sweeping the instruments and controls, everything like that, just making sure everything looks as it should be. Things to always keep your eye on is things like your ITT, which is like your exhaust temperature or engine temperature, power and prop percentages, making sure they're all in line, fuel burn, kind of keep an eye on our ETA, wind speeds, altitudes, speed. It's constantly checking everything. Even though it is a sim, it's a game, nothing really much is gonna change. I guess it's just something to keep the mind active and, you know, hope that some random failure doesn't occur. I'm seeing very much traffic come near us on this route either. was thinking, would it be nice if you could actually see ships going backwards and forwards? I guess that would take up a lot more processing power, kind of moving ships all over the world as well. Everything's swimming along nicely at the moment. Wind speed's dropped a fair chunk, down to an average of about 10 knots tailwind from 30 knots that we're getting as we're passing that weather system. ETA is still looking good though. We're still shaving off a little bit of time of that. Weather ahead, it's all looking nice and clear, nothing really in our way there. Looks like we're coming up to the east coast of Greenland, although we've still got another hour and a half, well, hour and 20 minutes before we get across to the other side of it. That's big. So we're past the east coast now anyway, and yeah, still got a long way to go. Don't think, can we see it down there? Nope. Just blue. I think that's Greenland anyway. Let's check our VFR map. There it is. Yep. And then we intercept it shortly, and then we've got lots more to go. That is a really big bloody continent. That's me.
Good day.
Contact center. Hello, center.
121.3 for Daher 1 Mike Sierra. Center Daher, November 171 Mike Sierra, flight level 250.
Daher November 171 Mike Sierra Center. Continue as planned.
Cool, so that's that done. At least somebody wanted to talk to me. Just kidding. I like talking to myself. I guess you have to like talking to yourself to do YouTube. Well, apparently there's a few people watching, so come and say hello. Give me somebody to talk to. Please. I'm so lonely and sad. Well, I do have my my wingman jet here keeping me company, don't I, buddy? Oh, I found out how to put images on this. Hello, buddy. He's just started poking me with his nose. I found out how to put images on the stream without them looking absolutely huge. So if I do that, say hello to Jet. That's the picture I took of him the other day when he was wanting my attention. Yeah, little what, you know, 9 months, nearly 10 months, nearly 10 months. Black lab called Jet, and he's amazing. He's really cool, but. He really loves attention, don't you, buddy? He does. So he comes and prods me with his nose and puts his paw on me, and he sits there and stares at me kind of incessantly until I start giving him attention. Aren't you? You're lovely. Aren't you lovely, buddy? Hello. Hello, buddy. Say hello. Say hello to the internet. No? Okay. Next thing that we're going to need to teach you is how to speak in it. Yes. In doggy. You good boy, aren't you? You're a good boy, aren't you? What's up? What are you doing? What's up? Whoa, okay. Start to see some landmass over there, which is something. Just letting a little man out for a pee. Messages. A little bit of turbulence kicking in again there, but a little weather cell over there. Still all low altitude, we're well above it. Start to see some ice. Ice, ice, baby.
Center Daher 1 Mike Sierra. Request flight level 200.
Daher 1 Mike Sierra, descend and maintain flight level 200.
Descend and maintain flight level 200 Daher 1 Mike Sierra.
All the weather's well below, so we'll go back down to 20,000. When we get over Greenland, we'll just see if we can descend a bit further, just so I can see some more of what the terrain looks like. Still got tons of fuel to play with. The ETA is still looking good. It's interesting. That's killed our tailwind there. It's down to 3 knots. That was quite funny. So Jet, my boy, went downstairs, opened up a packet of crisps just to have a crunch on something, and he came barreling upstairs like there's no tomorrow. Now he sat there staring at me, licking his lips. So we're starting to get Greenland in sight down there. That's coming towards us quite quickly. Looking very snowy. Really, really snowy. So we'll go down 10,000 feet. Get a close look at the ground.
Center Daher 1 Mike Sierra. Request 10,000 feet.
Daher November 171 Mike Sierra request denied.
Ah, haha. Well, fuck you very much. Not allowed 10,000 feet. Okie dokie. Well, that's that then. We do. Don't think there's any airspace restrictions around where we are. We have an aircraft coming up behind us. Shall we see what he is? Hey Matthew, how you doing there, buddy? Alright? How was school today, pal? Whereabouts are we on the map? Awesome, that's good, buddy. So that aircraft coming up behind us here, that's a Delta Airlines A330. He's flying to Minneapolis from London. He's currently at a flight altitude of 39,000 feet, doing 478 knots. So he's much higher and much faster than what we are. Then to our north, coming down, it's not showing on the map here, but he's probably over about here somewhere. There's a Etihad Airways A350 flying from Abu Dhabi to Chicago at 38,000 feet, doing 494 knots. So that's quite cool. So a little bit of traffic in the region. Just looking on the Plane Finder Flight Radar app here. There's one aircraft way up north. He's almost up to kind of northern side of Greenland, heading to Anchorage, Alaska. That's crazy. I wonder if it'll show up on the iPhone map here. I guess I can't zoom out far enough to find him, but he's way up there. That seems to have... there you go, he's popped in now. So it's not showing all of the traffic in the area, interestingly, but interesting. Hey Matty, so Matty's asked how I do that. So if you go on your plane finder app, Matthew, and look over Greenland, which is where I'm flying at the moment, you'll be able to see kind of all of the traffic flying around us. So this guy here, I know where I am in the world, so I just looked at where he was, and he'll always be slightly ahead in real world of where you see him in the game. But yeah, you can have a look at the plane and see what it is and where he's going, and it's quite cool. So Greenland at the moment is very white. Wonder if we'd see any polar bears down there. I wonder if we can see that United. He should just be alongside us at the moment. We know he's higher. I'm not seeing his lights. So he's going to be about 10,000 feet higher, travelling much faster flying away. Just seeing if I can see his nav lights, but might be just a little bit too far away. Let's have a look externally. Ah, good job, Matty. Can't see him in game. Like I said, I guess he must just be a little too far away, maybe. And he seems to be getting much closer. He's almost on our track. About 20 miles ahead of us now. He's looking for his lights. That's a shame. Can't see him. So I had him there for a second, but it was a bit of dirt on the windscreen. Starting to get a bit of turbulence again now. A lot of that turbulence could be caused by ridge lift. I guess there's some kind of peaks and stuff down there which could be causing the air to swirl a bit. So we've got about 1 hour of flying left to do. We're over the east coast of Greenland, heading over to Nuuk, which is on the west end of Greenland. So it's going to take us an hour to fly across kind of this part of Greenland, which is pretty interesting. It's really big, and it looks like it's really white. There's not much more else to see down there other than white. Not seeing any trees or anything like that, just lots of white. Looks like the sea's almost frozen there as well. Aircraft's starting to get kicked around quite a bit now as well. Hopefully it'll stabilize soon as we get away from these ridges here, I guess. There's no real strong weather ahead of us. Hey, Jenny. How you doing, boy? Interesting as well, looks like our tailwind has now become a complete crosswind. Hey buddy, I've got Jet here next to me. He's come up to say hello and dribble all over me. He's currently prodding his nose into my side and hey buddy, wanting some strokes. Here's a picture I took of him the other day there, Matty. I was just showing this earlier on the stream. God, you're dribbling like crazy, pal. Wipe his jowls. Horrible dribbly dog, aren't you? Just having a look at Greenland on kind of like satellite maps, and it really is featureless. I mean, the coasts look cool. You know, there's lots of hills, ridges, you know, mountains maybe, lakes, stuff like that, but the middle is just like a sea of sand. There is really nothing there at all. Really, really inhospitable place to try and live. Really is just a sea of snow and ice. That's pretty crazy. You look down there and you just see white as far as you can see, and you're just like, that's crazy. Hey man, you said how's Lena? She's fine. She's just a usual kind of chilled out self, just sat on her chair doing what she does. Ground speed's dropped down a fair bit here, but it looks as though we're starting to come into a bit of a headwind. So that earlier on we had a 30 knot tailwind, that's now turned beyond the side wind to coming at us from what, kind of that direction. So it's a little bit head on, but mostly kind of from the side. But that's took our ground speed down from what, 320 down to 270 knots. ETAs was slipped by about 10 minutes due to that, but we still got push our engine up just a little bit more. So yeah, we've got still a couple of hours of fuel left, and we've got about what, 40 minutes till we come in for landing. We're doing okay. Even with a 10 knot headwind, it's not going to affect us too much. But like I was saying earlier, it's why it's good to have that little bit of margin with your fuel, so that even if you think, well, I can fly for 5 hours, the destination's 5 hours away, but just think, you've got extra fuel that it takes to climb. If you need to do a pattern or approach or a hold, then that's going to eat into your flying time. So always try to keep at least an hour's fuel in reserve, so that should the winds change or kind of events happen in your flight, you've always got that bit of extra flight time to get yourself out of sticky situations. Because going down somewhere here, that would be really bad. I don't think they'd ever find you if you crash somewhere out here. I very much do doubt that this sort of place has radar coverage. Temperature minus 32 degrees outside. Wow, that's pretty cold. Certainly looks like a nice day over Greenland anyway. There's not much weather over this way. I guess it wouldn't matter if we descended down to 10,000 to see the ground anyway. There's really not much to see other than white. It's just like a desert of white. So the headwind's building. We've currently got 50 knots of headwind. It's also changing direction, coming directly from our left to more nose on. Our ETA's slipping a little bit. We're now 10 past 5 for our ETA into Nuuk. It's continuing to build there as well. Looks like we're going to start turning more south soon, which is going to turn that more into direct headwind. Our ground speed's dropped to 266 knots from what was about 310 earlier. So currently we're flying from Reykjavik, which is in Iceland, and we're flying to Nuuk in the west coast of Greenland, and that's Nuuk, which is N-U-U-K. It's crazy, isn't it? When you look down, it's like the sky just blends with the ground. It's like, is there anything down there? So I pushed up to about 60 gallons per hour. We've still got loads of fuel to spare just to see if I can bring that ETA back down to 5 o'clock. So here we go, we're passing 0.6545 November and making a slight turn south, so this will be our direct line now to Nuuk. Just slave our heading back. Hey, buddy. Would you look at that? Like an island in the sea of ice. One thing I do love with Microsoft Flight Sim though is when you're external, you can still check your instruments by looking through the window. I cannot believe that they draw the instruments externally. And it's like a wet dream in DCS, the amount of detail that they put into this. And it's like, that is identical to what you see when you're inside from the outside. So just to prove it, so if I come inside and I don't know, trying to think if there's something we can change. Can't really change the map, can we? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we zoom in or out at the moment, because all we see is just sand. Not, well, ice. But sandy coloured ice on the map, because it's a desert. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see the checkpoint moving away from us there anyway, or the turn point. If I could zoom in further, you could probably see the numbers matching up on the head down display there as well. Like a huge crater. That's interesting. Really is just a sea of nothingness. So that's now increased to a 20 knot headwind. Still holding our ETA at about 10 past 5. Dear, excuse me. That's interesting. Starting to see some actual topography on the horizon rather than just a sea of flat white. Hey, that'd keep all the millennials happy, wouldn't it? A sea of flat white coffee. Welcome everybody that's just joined the live stream now. Had a quick boost up in the numbers there. Come and say hi. Currently flying from Reykjavik in Iceland to Nuuk in Greenland. We are currently over Greenland. We're about halfway across it, I think, at the moment. And don't adjust your monitors. It is just a sea of white out there. There's really nothing but snow and ice out there. Currently at 20,000 feet, doing a ground speed of 271 knots, 250 knots indicated. Got lots of fuel left, no problems there. Got about half an hour of flight time remaining. Been a pretty interesting crossing so far. Had a fair bit of weather going across the Atlantic, but that all seems to have died away now.
Hello.
Hey Rez, how you doing?
Not too bad. I just heard you were streaming down there, so I didn't want to disturb you.
Nah, man, you should come down and say hello. Stops you from talking to myself and sounding like an idiot.
There is somebody there, I think, right? There's two people now, me and someone else. Just take a look.
Till you find out, I am talking to myself.
Ah.
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, hey, you know, it's fun. I've been thinking about fucking with streaming one day, but I don't really do enough. I don't play for long enough.
I think you'd be pretty good at it. You know, you're quite an interesting guy.
Oh, thanks.
Maybe get into something like Cold Waters.
Bitching about the whole thing is the problem. Bitching about it the whole time. Like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. There's things I guess I could do, but plus we couldn't do MSFS. I just find the game kind of boring to me. It's just like flying for 6 hours.
Yeah, I mean at the moment I'm kind of over Greenland.
Yeah, I saw the ice and everything down there.
It is really just a sea of nothing. It's you kind of look out your window and you're like, well, this is fun.
Feels like you're flying over the ocean.
There really is no difference. It's just that the ocean's turned white.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
How long do you have till you land again? Like I heard you say 10 plus 5, so I didn't really know.
Yeah, so it's about half an hour.
Okay.
But I did have a 30-knot tailwind when I left Iceland.
Now it's turned into a 20-knot headwind.
Yeah, currently 25 and increasing.
Oh no.
It looks like there's a bit of weather ahead as well, so. But, yeah, I keep pushing the throttle up little bits just to try and cut down on the ETA a bit, but just I need to keep that fuel reserve there in case it all goes wrong.
Yeah, I do find it weird how they do the little water underneath the entire land in this game.
Oh, at DCS.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Recently, when I've been loading into DCS, it takes so long to actually load in the terrain. Yeah, and it shows like everything just kind of like hovering on top of water.
Yeah, and then the textures in the airplane haven't loaded yet either.
Okay. What are you flying?
Yeah, I sent the A8 out for another spin.
A8?
The Focke-Wulf 190.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. I was thinking, A8, do we have an A8?
I wish they had the like I said, I wish they had the lightning. That'd be fun. 2-engine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fighter, but it actually is a good fighter.
P-38, not the F-35.
Yeah. I don't really care for the F-35 all that much.
No.
Although it is a good plane. It's not.
Although really, when you think about it, you'd just be on a computer flying a computer.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's what all the freaking all the newer stuff is anyway. The F-16, the F-18, the freaking brain, especially the JF-17.
The Jeff.
The Jeff, yeah. My name's Jeff. Oh man, where is my Hans Dotterman's skin?
That was
a special one because
that was amazing fun the other night though, flying those I-16s, man. That was
oh my god,
crazy
yeah,
good fun.
Good times. I'll make sure I don't hit the landing gear switch because.
Is there no weight on wheel safety on that?
Nope.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, it's always great.
What German efficiency?
I mean, I guess they decided it was not really worth it. They didn't really need it.
Yeah.
Maybe people back then weren't as dumb. I don't know. I'm rebinding it so that way I don't confuse that switch anymore because it's going to get me killed when it has before.
I mean, the undercarriage switch looks a lot like the flap switch, and it's right next to it as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I also have my throttle to start switch, my flaps, or sorry, my starter, and that all on the 3 switches on the bottom of my throttle. It's like,
okay.
Which one's which again? Since I fly so many different types in this game.
What controller do you use?
I have the Virpil T50 CM2 for my throttle.
Virpil T50. Okay, is that the Mongoose? I'm trying.
Yeah,
to
the Mongoose one.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. So.
Yeah.
It's got
a lot of people,
way more buttons than the Warthog, in total.
Yeah, a lot of people say good things about the Virpil stuff.
Oh yeah, I have actually right now I'm pretty much all Virpil. I use right now I'm using the T50 CM2 base, which is like the non-desk one. The Warbird is the desk one. I'm using the Virpil VFX grip, the F14 stick essentially, and then the throttle.
Is it them that do that F16 grip, but with like the extra bit tacked on to the side of it?
No, I want to say that one. Oh, fuck. I think you'd have to ask Apex on that one. I think he has that one.
Oh, okay.
I know Windwing does the throttle. They have the whole setup you can do to make the F16 throttle because they have their it's not the Super Taurus. It's the what was it? It's whatever their base one is. It's about the same. It's a little bigger than like a Warthog, but.
Got you. Yeah, it is them. The F16EX.
It is them. Okay.
Yeah, I was just doing the googlings. Yeah, it's like an F16 stick, made to almost look like a Russian stick by having extra hat switches tacked onto the side of it.
Yeah, I know. Don't know if I like that or not.
Well, I mean, for flying the Apache, it'd be really nice to have those extra hat switches.
Yeah, I think that's actually what it's for, because they do have they have a collective stick that you can put on their throttle as well. So like their throttle is actually really nice because you can change it between I think an F18 throttle, F16 throttle, and also put a collective on it.
Is that the throttle with the like slide guide that's next to it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that slide guide is what you actually use part of the F16 kit, but I think the base throttle is just like the F18 one. So.
Okay.
Pretty neat though.
Just looking at the price of that stick though, you're kind of like, whew.
Oh yeah, I can't afford it right now.
I mean, it's more expensive than the Thrustmaster one, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Warthog is old too. It's been around for a long time.
True. I mean, I've got like one of the very first Warthogs. Its serial number is like 3003.
Jesus.
No, sorry, 3001. 3001 is its serial number.
Damn.
But yeah, it's still going strong, and with it being kind of all metal, some things have gone a bit ropey, and you know I've had to do surgery on it a couple of times. Yeah, especially on the trigger and the front of the stick is a bit chipped.
Yeah.
It just kind of gives it personality.
Yeah, I actually had to buy a new base at one point. That was the thing that for me broke, because I went to it was having like stiction issues, and I took it apart to like try and fix it. Then when I put it back together, I think I pinched a wire. And
wow. Okay.
Like, it would work when I was in neutral, but if I pushed forward on the stick, everything would cut out entirely. So I was like, shit.
I put in a Teflon O-ring on the stick, and it stiffened it up a bit. There's like a little bit more resistance, but you don't get the stiction anymore. Because the rubber O-ring that they put in there is like paper. It was horrible.
That was another thing I actually had on one of my other ones that died. I had to order a brand new O-ring.
Yeah.
Because it was I pulled it. That was another thing. I was having like weird issues. Felt really strange and all that stuff. I can't really explain it because it's been a while. But like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. The O-ring was like ripped in half, and I was like, fuck.
Because I had a problem where I started getting really bad stiction, and then it came to a point where the stick wasn't centering in the neutral position.
Oh.
So I opened it up, and like the O-ring had come out of its position and up the gimbal.
Oh,
you know, so it was kind of half in, half out of it. Yeah.
I had the Virpil base I have is it's one of the wheel cam and spring types, so I really love it. It's so smooth.
Does that use Hall sensors as well, does it?
I think so, yeah. Oh. But it's like so smooth. The only thing that's a little bit different and a little odd is you have to put slightly more force in to get to like the combined sections. Like the extreme. Well, the extremes of like back left, back right, forward left, because it's just you're fighting two springs, but it's really not that. It's not enough to notice it really.
Was someone earlier saying that you had a tube extension on your stick as well?
Yeah, I have like a 10 centimeter extension. I just bought a new one recently because I bought an actual sim rig to set everything up on. So the one I had before was like I think 15 centimeters, and it was just too tall. It sat like up, and it was really weird. So I had to get something.
Do you have that like side stick mounted or kind of like center mounted?
I have it center right now. I also have the that force sensing base as well. That I use that for the S16 mostly, and whenever the Typhoon comes out, I use it for that as well. But,
so do you have like the base mounted to a chair, or kind of on the floor and work your way around it?
Oh, so the whole rig is like a seat thing. It's like a racing slash one, but I use one of the Monster Tech mounts to mount it in front of me. So
right, okay.
Makes it easier. It's better than my seat in my chair because I was sitting kind of weird all the time, and it would always shake whenever I moved it. Like the desk would fucking shake and shit would fall off of it when I was playing because my desk isn't super sturdy, so.
Yeah, I have to jam it. Like my desk has like a top layer and then like a shelf that comes out.
Yeah.
And I put the stick and the throttle kind of on the shelf and then the keyboard on the upper layer. But the shelf itself, the locking mechanism on it broken, so whenever I push forward on the stick, the damn thing would slide forward. So I had to get a screwdriver and like jam that in the back into the rail in order to stop it kind of sliding backs and forwards.
Oh, I did forget I was taking off with bombs. I might want to put the takeoff flaps back down. I pulled the flaps up and I just started sinking, and I'm like, oh no.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Yeah. Don't quite get that in this airplane, sadly.
It's like trying to take off in that P47 the other day as well with bombs and rockets.
Oh, that one, if you'd taken it, oh man. Gotta get some oomph on that baby, especially if you have like high amount of fuel for the.
Well, I want to try that again to see if it was the being in kind of auto rich is what cooked the engine using WEP on takeoff. Like,
I'm fairly sure it was because I don't remember where I remember seeing it, but I think it was one of the tutorials I watched. It was saying that if you're in auto rich and you go into WEP, it doesn't like it at all.
Go ahead.
Just because it's not, you're not really able to regulate. You're not regulating the fuel at all. It's just one setting of fuel air mixture going in, whereas in auto, it's changing it a little bit.
Go ahead. So I know on like the German planes, the MW50, they put like water methanol into
the same thing.
system.
WEF is the same thing.
Okay. Right. Okay. So it is like a water methanol injection in order to.
Yep.
So do you think that's kind of like over compressing the cylinders if it's getting like too much liquid in there with like the water methanol and the fuel and stuff like that?
So yeah, that is kind of an issue, but the whole point of it is to to cool the engine basically and to increase your compression.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. It does rob a little bit away from your fuel air mixture, but the increase in compression is more than makes up for it. So you end up getting a huge boost in power. I think the R2800 goes from something like 2,000 rated to like 2,350 horsepower just from water methanol. Yeah, it's insane.
That's adding like a sports car to your engine, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, there's a lot of sport cars, actually, not like sports cars, but like racing cars have water methanol injection. And same with like, I think like dragsters use it. Hell, I think dragsters
they use it. Yeah, they use it exclusively.
Fuel. Yeah, like especially the top fuel ones. Oh my god. They're getting like 11,000 horsepower out of a big block V8, and like, good god.
See, I love watching funny cars and top fuel races and stuff like that, but it's the fact that they have to literally strip the engine down to the nut after every race.
Yeah. It's like, good god.
It's like what like 10 seconds maximum, like even less than that. It's kind of like 5 seconds, isn't it? On some of their passes. And then you got like several hours of stripping an engine down.
The magnetos, the spark plugs are I should say spark plugs, but the spark plugs are literally like arc welder power. It's insane. And it's like, oh my god. And then they actually, to get downforce, they angle the exhaust up because the exhaust produces so much thrust it just pushes it into the ground. Unlike the top fuel in the funny cars, it's like, good. I don't understand why, but I'm glad somebody did it.
It is cool though. It is really cool. And I was watching a one recently where they were going through like the anatomy of the race, everything from like the build up, the line up, the warming of the tires at start, and they were looking at kind of like how the chassis was torquing as it was coming off the line, and then they were showing like the new one of the cylinders wasn't firing properly, and they called it dieseling because it was kind of forcing in the fuel, but it wasn't igniting properly, and you could see the fuel being spat out of the exhaust for that cylinder, and they're like,
dieseling, sorry, keep going.
No, you go.
I was gonna say with dieseling, it's literally like, it's bad because it's compressing. It's actually igniting on compression instead of from the spark plugs. It's really bad because you can have it just explode on you, or you'll have a runaway engine, which is not fun.
Yeah, well, they went into that, but you could see like white spurts coming out of the exhaust. Like for that bank, if that makes sense, and that's how they knew kind of which one they needed to tear apart and do stuff with. It's fascinating. Like.
Yeah, it's like, I don't get why you would want to rebuild an engine every single time you run it, but hey, to each their own, I guess, on that one.
Yeah.
Tower 1 Mike Sierra, descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 8,000 feet, Tower 1 Mike Sierra.
I missed. I missed my bomb. But now I have rocket. Actually, these rockets are actually air-to-air rockets, but it's fine.
Air-to-air rockets?
So yeah, they were actually designed to shoot down Allied bombers.
Wow, okay. So do they have, like, is it a proximity burst or just time burst?
I think there is a setting for it, but I think I have them set, I'm pretty sure, on just impact. But I think it's like a combined time burst and proximity, so...
Right, okay.
And impact, sorry.
Okay. That's pretty frightening, isn't it? Whoa.
Yeah, well, they weren't very effective, but... I think the ME262, they armed it with something like 42 tiny little rockets just to go after bombers, even though it had that giant 30 mil cannons. Oh man, this is really high. Okay.
I guess they just kind of like shotgun them into a formation of B-17s.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it was kind of the philosophy after the war too. Shit, my engine just quit.
That sucks. You over-rev it, or?
No, I was having it suck from both tanks.
Okay.
And it one of the tanks ran out of gas, so I had to switch it back down to.
Got it. So does it, like, if you got it sucking off both tanks and one runs dry, would it not just default to the other?
Well, I think it's just because it's trying to suck from both, and it's probably just not liking it. I don't know. I don't know exactly why it does it, but it does that.
Weird. So I take it just move it from like
from both
one plus two to just like one or something.
Yeah, the aft tank ran out of gas because I only brought like 40-ish, 50-ish% fuel.
Got it. Okay. Currently about 80, 90 miles from Nuuk.
Wow.
Started descent now.
Speed in that thing?
About 200 indicated. Ground speeds all depending on winds, but
yeah,
on
true
this,
airspeed by around right.
Yeah, true airspeed's about 280.
280.
It's bloody quick.
It's pretty quick for a little while. And you're up at what, almost 30,000 feet in that thing?
20,000 on this transition.
20?
So,
Okay.
Yeah, this thing maxes out at 30,000. It can't regulate the cabin pressure above 30,000.
Ah.
Whoa. Christ.
Did it default my hot plug back on? Maybe that's why I'm getting so many stutters. Man, it's into the dirt there. Whatever.
Over kind of like a mountainous, hilly region, and keep getting my ass kicked by I guess what is updrafts. It's like it'll be flying smooth, and it's just like someone's hit the bottom of the aircraft with a hammer.
Climbing. It's like, oh god, no, no.
Although gliders are coming to Microsoft Flight Sim, I think later this year, and I've got like a third-party app for like a mod, should you say, for gliding, which works really well. But quite looking forward to getting it in as default.
Cool. There would actually be a couple places I wouldn't mind flying from and then to. Like, I wouldn't mind actually taking a plane out of here and then taking it all the way up to Tromsø, Norway, because I've been up there before and it's like so pretty up there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back actually, because we only got to spend like 2 days there on our last deployment. And I was like, fuck, I want to stay. Well, 3 days really, but I wanted to stay longer because it was like, oh. The sun was only out for like 2 hours a day, but like it was like, I think it was December or no, it was January when we were there. So.
Yeah, so when you announced the Norway map for DCS, I was kind of like that, like, really, like, is there much of a point?
But it's a lot more than like Norway as well. At the same time, there's more stuff to do there, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it. I'll probably end up getting it just because I think it'll be neat.
Yeah, I probably will too, but.
Maybe I'll wait for a sale on that one, actually. We'll see. I'd much rather them introduce, like, I don't know, well, they're working on it, quote-unquote, 2 weeks, hashtag, but it's from what I can tell, they won't let a third party develop a map if ED's already trying to make it. So that's
Yeah.
what they
yeah.
said when they reacted to people asking why the hell are we not getting a Vietnam map. Is they kind of said that, and it's like, oh, okay then give us a word on it. Are you actually working on it, or you're just saying that you're planning on it?
Well, when you look at all of the aircraft that they've developed and got in development and stuff like that, it just seems really daft that they haven't done it sooner.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Unless we're just waiting for more technology to come along so they could get both, you know, kind of north and south and Laos and all that type of stuff in. Cause
maybe.
It is a fairly big region.
Almost could. It is a fairly big region, you're right. I mean, the Kolar Peninsula area is also pretty big, so I guess maybe that's a test, but that's not from ED, I think. I think that's going to be a different company making that one, right?
I think so. Is it the same guys that done like Syria and stuff like that? Is it?
I think so. I'm not sure though. I just know that Razbam didn't do a good job on the Falklands map. It doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
In my mind, at least, I've seen the screenshots and all that shit, and like it's just kind of like not great. Terrain is fairly not textured.
Well, I mean, it was just one guy that did it. You know, it was Spectre. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then
he did a good job with only one guy, but they should have probably not just released it, I think.
So it was Spectre and Tony.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway for approach.
Runway 4 approach. Okay.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway for approach. Daughter 1 Mike Sierra.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
See if I remember how to fucking start this thing already. It's been a couple of days. I need ground power.
There's no programmed in approach procedures for Nuuk. It's a visual pattern approach.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered how to start it.
Why are you taking off it now?
I just started up the I-16 for old shits and giggles.
Ah, cool. That's not one to do that.
Although I wish that they gave more. I wish the engines turned over a little bit more before they started. Because if you watch like modern day, like airplanes that are from this time in modern day, they
cough and splut and smoke and fire and brimstone and everything.
Yeah, they're like they finally pick up. Whereas in this, it seems like they kind of immediately get it, which is I think is a little bit. I wish they gave more of that. And then they also had the smoke coming out, hitting you in the face. I'm sure there's some kind of visual mod you can download for it, but I think Rusky actually pointed to me a sound mod that has changes some of the bass ambient sounds.
Okay.
And the pilot breathing and stuff like that. I can't remember what it's called. Actually, find OBGME. I can. But no, I don't have it in OBGME. Fuck. What was it? I have my search history. Let's see if I can find it from yesterday.
$1 Mike Sierra, you are 500 feet below your
Echo 19er.
Climb and maintain 8,000
It's audio production. They actually have specific sound models for the F-16, the F-14, the F-18, and the Ac-52, surprisingly. But they're working on a Spitfire one as well.
Cool.
And I have a video on my computer that I took while I was at a museum, because there's a museum nearby me that has like all the airplanes they're all World War II, but almost all of them are in flying condition. And one day when I went there, they had a Spitfire out flying, and
Awesome.
listening to the idle of the Spitfire, the actual one that I took a video of, and then the one that they're producing, I can almost not tell the difference between the idle sounds. I was like, that is actually really impressive.
That is really cool.
Yeah, so I'm wanting them to come out with that soon, because it sounds good. I gotta find their news section.
Descend and maintain 2,300 feet, $1 Mike Sierra.
$1 Mike Sierra Airport is 5 miles at your 11 o'clock. Maintain present heading and altitude, report runway in sight.
They got jokes.
They're
like the runway's at your 11 o'clock, 5 miles. Report runway in sight.
Please acknowledge.
I don't see shit.
Yeah, it's like all I see is white.
just ice everywhere.
$1 Mike Sierra Airport is 3 miles at your 11 o'clock.
Maybe I saw something.
Altitude, report runway.
It's kind of hard because the video quality is less because it's going through YouTube, but
Maintain present heading and altitude.
Gets a little compressed.
$1 Mike Sierra.
$1 Mike Sierra, you are 2 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway for approach.
Maintain present heading and altitude.
I don't see it either.
I really don't. I mean, apparently I'm right on top of it, but
Maybe it's like that thing right below your nose. I don't know.
I mean that's the town. I wonder if I zoom in a bit more, if that'll. So it's behind me now. Jesus.
External view it maybe.
There it is. I see it. It's that tiny little kind of black strip there with like a green flashy light next to it.
Oh, okay.
Right next to the mountainside. Jesus, that's ugly.
Yeah, you passed right over it. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I couldn't see it because it was on the downside of that mountain. Like, maintain present heading and altitude and expect vectors for runway 4 approach. So I guess we'll turn left, and then left again, and then come back around on it. Jesus.
It's very hard to see.
It's weird not being able to put the approach vector into the nav computer, like being talked into landing.
Yeah, making you visually do it. That's kind of weird.
Well, it has ILS on runway 28, so I guess there's probably an assigned approach for runway 28. But there's that would give me a 26 knot tailwind.
Yeah, you don't really want that.
That would be very bad for your health.
It would not be. Well, it just wouldn't be very easy to stop. You might be able to make it, but it just wouldn't be fun.
Maintain. Just wondering when he's going to give me the turn to go back to the runway, or if I'm just going to be kind of like heading to America.
I go to America.
Yes, Kazim. Because we're kind of out of his area of influence box now as well.
Yeah.
I'll give another 5 minutes. If he doesn't talk to me, I'll turn around and goes, "Hello, excuse me,
What are you
I'm
doing?
here."
What are you doing?
Center Dahmer, November
See if I can
171
quest
Mike Sierra,
back to
requesting
Nuuk next waypoint. See if he tells me to go somewhere.
Dahmer 1 Mike Sierra, turn left heading 155.
Turn left heading 155. Okie dokie.
Here we go. At least it's something, right? Oh, like plane shaking around on my screen.
Yeah, some low level turbulence going on there. Go heading, hold, and turn. 155.
Dahmer 1 Mike Sierra, please acknowledge.
Oh yes. Aviate, navigate, then communicate, you impatient fucker.
Oh, did he come over saying, "Turn, motherfucker"?
Yeah. Yeah, because I can see the green locator light, like the strobe for the airfield. That's about all I can see. Comes manual course.
There's a lot of turbulence down there.
Yeah. Looks like we'll almost have a 28 knot crosswind now.
Oh god. Oh, good luck.
Thanks. Array 040. So we should almost be lined up with it now, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I should be getting vectors to turn in now, but
I don't know.
Center Dahmer,
see if we
November
push him again, see what he
171
says.
Mike Sierra, requesting
Yeah.
vector to next waypoint.
Dahmer 1 Mike Sierra, turn left heading 155.
I'm on 155.
What did he
Turn
say
left
that you're not
heading
there?
155, Dahmer 1 Mike Sierra.
He said turn left heading 155. I'm on 155. Well, 150 in fact. I guess we'll get to our turn soon.
Oh boy.
There you go. So our course and localizer for the beacon are matching up. So that means that we're aligned with the runway now, or at least should be.
Should be, yeah. Should give you a turn in.
Center Daher, November 171 Mike Sierra, requesting vector to next waypoint.
Daher 1 Mike Sierra, turn left, heading 155.
Yeah, it still wants me to stay on 155, which is 101.
Turn left,
Just
heading
like, if I want you to
155,
come here,
Daher
just
1
go
Mike
away.
Sierra.
Yeah, we've flown past the
Runway.
the approach.
Yeah, I see that.
But I'll be a good egg. I'll keep going, do what I'm told.
Yeah. Maybe it knows you're not exactly on 155, and it's like, get the fucking 155.
I'm on
Oh, now
155.
you are, yeah. Never mind.
The load of turbulence is kicking me around with.
Yeah.
If I keep this heading much longer, I think I'm going to be meeting some mountains.
Yeah, I see that.
Center Daher, November 171 Mike
Can't
Sierra,
really turn
requesting
left
vector
anymore.
to next waypoint.
So you're gonna hit the mountains as well on the way in.
Mike Sierra, turn left, heading 350.
350. Turn left heading 350. That's back the way I came.
Maybe he's gonna make you come back and then do it realign and then have you do a right turn in. I don't know.
Daher 1 Mike Sierra, please acknowledge.
Yeah, all right. He's probably getting pissed off because I'm not acknowledging fast enough.
1 Mike Sierra.
350's put me slightly closer to the approach.
I'm just glad you put that fuel reserve in there a little bit, huh?
Oh god, yes. And I've still got 2 hours of fuel left.
Oh yeah, no man.
So, plenty to play with. Yeah, having that tailwind for the first kind of half of the journey really helped.
Yeah. Where's your next stop after this?
St. John's.
Up in Canada?
Yeah, it's like the easternmost airfield or runway. Interesting fact, during 9/11, it's where they diverted nearly all the aircraft coming over from the east.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So it was a huge car park or plane park there, if you would,
Yeah, it's like
for months.
so many people. It's probably more than the population of wherever it is.
I think it was as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but had more people than the local rest of the island.
Should probably move around a little bit in DCS before it Kicks me back to spectators or something. What the hell? Oh. There we go. This is the slowest responding like propeller-driven engine or piston engine I've ever fucking had.
Yeah, it takes like 2 weeks for it to kind of like spool up.
Somebody else is in a prop. I hear them. Oh, Lawrence is on.
I'll give him another prod to see what he says.
November 171 Mike Sierra requesting
So I can see the runway. I'm coming up on it.
Dollar 1 Mike Sierra turn left heading tree 40.
340 is away from where I need to be.
Turn left heading tree 40 Daher 1 Mike Sierra.
I wonder if I should just like turn in to the runway and see if he gives me approach finalizations when I come close to the runway.
Yeah.
I might do that this time if he doesn't talk to me, because I can't just keep flying backwards and forwards for the rest of the night.
No.
Like, you know, a mile off the runway.
There's nobody else near you, that's for damn sure.
Dollar 1 Mike Sierra
Hey!
is at your 2 o'clock 12 miles. Maintain present heading and altitude
Out,
report runway in sight.
Doubt very many people
Maintain
fly up
present
to
heading
Nuuk.
and altitude Daher 1 Mike Sierra.
I have the runway in sight too.
Hey,
Daher 1 Mike Sierra has the runway in sight.
Dollar 1 Mike Sierra, you are 12 miles south of Bravo Golf Golf Hotel. Maintain present heading and altitude.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Daher 1 Mike Sierra.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Well, that's not very useful for landing, is it?
What a fucking dick.
Oh, here we go. I think I can actually declare my own approach.
Yeah, I like how both options it gives you on tuning the radio are the exact same.
Here we go. Fuck it. Let's go for it.
Bravo Golf Golf Hotel traffic Daher November 171 Mike Sierra 11 miles southwest inbound visual runway 4.
There you go. I've declared I'm inbound.
Yeah.
Bravo Golf Golf Hotel traffic Daher November 171 Mike Sierra is on final runway 4 to land.
I think I need to come right slightly. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna piss off the autopilot, do this manually. So I think the control is literally just getting you,
lined up, basically.
yeah, kind of in the area, and then it's like another self-managed airport.
I mean, I'm sure you would get real stuff if you had like an actual ATC. Because I know there are people that do that in this game sometimes.
Yeah, there's a thing called VATSIM,
Yeah.
but I think only like the major-y kind of airports have.
Like people that actually man them.
Yeah.
Just I don't understand why somebody would like just do that, but I guess practice if it's your job, maybe.
And you get geeks that, like, you know.
I guess, yeah.
Like
Geeks
doing
like
it.
us.
Yeah. Got that runway.
Clouds are rolling in too.
Yeah.
Might be where the turbines coming from.
Yeah. So we've got a 20 knot headwind, slight crosswind on our runway, but not much, not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
I was hoping to get in before it turned night, because no ILS on a hidden icy runway.
Yeah, not gonna be easy.
So what's my distance here? 4.4 miles.
Bulb. What's that bulb on the left wing, actually?
That's the weather radar.
Oh, okay. Thought it was, just didn't really know.
Yeah. Let's get this thing set up then, so I'll start slowing down. Gears and flaps. Landing lights are on, lights are set. 3 green, flaps down. Runway in sight.
Smack. That's it.
I wonder if this place ever thaws out, or if it is just ice all year round.
Probably not that place. I doubt it. At least Nuuk. Actually, Nuuk is more southish in Greenland, right?
It is, yeah, like southwest coast.
It might, but then again, this entire area looks more like a glacier than anything, so
Yeah.
it might not as well.
It's one of the only runways
town
over here.
merges. Yeah, the town kind of merges into the sea there. It looks like so.
Yeah.
It's more glacial right there, so I don't know. Who knows? Well, I guess they know and can find out if you really just want to look it up, but whatever.
Having a really hard time seeing the pappy lights here as well. It's like they're blending into the snow.
Yeah.
Wind shifting direction on me too.
Yeah, of course it is.
You think they'd have a bloody snowplow out or something clearing off the runway. Ah, there we go, see the pappy lights now.
Yeah, there.
On glide slope. Jesus Christ.
He is not.
Come
The
on,
wind is not very friendly right now.
you're not kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. Blew you off really far to the left there. Toward the end.
See if we can find a bloody taxiway now.
Yeah, it's all fucking snow. Oh, man. Flying hogs with your buddy. I literally just saw you in a fucking P51.
In fact, if I zoom in all the way, the whole area, the whole place is just apron, just covered in snow.
Yeah.
We'll can park over by this dude over here then. Hello. I'm just gonna park in front of you because yeah.
Now you gotta get a pushback. Haha, asshole.
Parking brake on. Cool. Well, we're here.
It's the grass. There we go. Come on. Oh my god, ground looped. This thing's such a piece of shit.
And what was funny, we're chasing the sun the whole way there. I think that the sun's at about the same kind of position as when we
left.
Took off blooming like 4 hours ago.
Oh, you were outrunning it for a while then.
Well, what time did it take off? Like 2 o'clock. So, while. But yeah,
no, I guess you technically were outrunning it. Yeah.
I'll say thanks to everybody that's been watching on the tube of you. And yeah, we'll see you for the next leg. Bye for now.